This week on Another Brother.
Man, this last meal is getting better and better.
Yeah. Maybe I won't die after all.
It's going to create a layer. It's going to create a boundary layer of protection.
The next day, he did find work.
In Hades.
Everyone's like, well, where's Muriel? Like, oh, she's just running inside getting her handkerchief. She didn't come out yet. She was coming out this way. Like, no, we haven't seen her. And then all of a sudden, a shriek rings out.
Brother over here, brother over there, brother everywhere. Another
All right.
Slap it.
So speaking of a traveling family band, I recently subscribed to the Drumeo YouTube channel. Yeah. Drumeo is an app for teaching you how to play drum set. They have like a bunch of drumless tracks, like all of Foo Fighters. I recently saw them advertising that. They have every last Foo Fighters song minus the drums. Everything else is the original stem from the recording.
Vocals even.
Vocals, yeah, everything. Everything is there except for the drums.
Just
mixed exactly the same way, so you can... And they have transcriptions of the original drum part written out, so you can like literally learn to... Yeah. You can like watch the bouncing ball as you're playing along to the track in your headphones. Cool. And
their YouTube videos are fantastic also, by the way.
Their YouTube videos are really cool.
So it's an app, so you might put it on like a tablet on a music stand in front of you sort of thing.
Right. So I started looking into what electronic drum kits cost, and there are very, very expensive ones. Mm-hmm. But I found one on a list that says it's plenty worth buying, especially as a beginner. It's only $300.
I've seen cheaper even.
I'm sure, but I don't know how worth it would be to
own. Well, it's one of these, he doesn't play on Drumeo, but it's one of these big YouTube drumming stars who he went through it. I watched like a 15-minute video of him. He was like, yeah, this is totally legit good. I think it was $225. Anyway, not to...
Yeah, it makes me wonder what Chris is, because Chris had one.
Yeah, I'm sure he still does.
And he just plugged his headphones in and just hammered away in his room.
That was a really old... that was...
I think they got it previously
2001?
Owned, maybe.
2000?
Yeah.
2002?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Somewhere around there.
They've come a long way now. I didn't... Like this $300 one, I guess you call it a pad, the cymbals and the drums, they all had 2 zones where you could strike them for 2 different sounds.
Nice.
So you could do rim shots on all of the drums. The cymbals might not have 2 different places. I would hope so, because on like a ride cymbal, you've got the normal body of the cymbal where you'd strike it, but then you've also got the cone up where it mounts, and that's a totally different sound. So maybe it does do that. I don't know.
Well, I hope it would be... I try to look around and find like Rock Band 4 set, and it's like $900.
I know.
$1,000.
Dang.
So you're telling me
an actual drum kit
is probably the same cost as a Rock Band drum kit.
Apparently now,
ridiculous.
For just the drum kit?
No, the whole set.
The whole game.
You're getting
all the peripherals.
A guitar, a microphone.
That's still not great.
Right.
No. Better than I thought, I guess.
So your drum kit's probably coming around the same price as this professional grade.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Right.
Professional grade.
Well, I really want to get that.
That's funny.
That drum kit and just learn to wail on the drums.
It's like at the beginning of this week that I told Heather, what do you think about me getting a drum set? It'd be electric. I'll keep it in the basement.
You said that? Really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, dang.
I don't have rhythm or timing, but I would love to be able to play the drums.
Or you just keep those headphones on and no one else has to suffer.
Well, yeah. I'd always have to
rock through it. Yeah.
There's a new, on Drumeo, there's a new free 10-minute lesson for the basic, she called it the money beat. But I know it as the basic rock beat.
Yeah.
And they start out really simple. Just
it's tempting, man.
Do the hi-hat and the bass drum at the same time.
So we've all been dreaming about getting drum sets.
You have too?
Well, Rock Band.
Oh, right. Sorry. That's right.
I was just thinking about, I didn't know you guys were thinking about getting into music at all, because you guys didn't really do much with music. Josh played trumpet a little bit in middle school,
for 2 years,
right?
Maybe 3 years.
I completely forgot you did band.
Yeah.
And Jacob,
nothing.
I think you did.
No, I did the recorder in elementary school,
Right?
along with everybody else.
Amateur choirs. I did the Russian choir at
fair
BYU.
enough. Oh, so did I,
Yeah.
but not with
I
you.
dropped it twice
Oh,
as
I
the
took
only
it
Russian
twice.
speaker.
But I was thinking about Jared. Jared and I do all the music for the podcast.
Mhm.
That's where it's all coming from. And he plays guitar, bass, keyboard. He's got a synthesizer. So the only thing we're really missing is drums. So I was like, and then I found the Drumeo channel. I was like, oh man, I should learn to play the drums and then we're set.
Makes you hunger for it.
And then Liz can be the female rock singer, because I really want her to do renditions of some of these songs I like.
She could be like I forgot her name, Amy something from Evanescence.
Oh yeah, I was thinking more. I really like Hailstorm.
Hailstorm. It's good.
I can't
They've
think
got
of
some
her
good tracks.
vocals.
I never
her
remember
name,
the
but
names of band members usually
Yeah.
very well.
I think her last name is Hailstorm.
But Liz is learning the bass, so
Yeah, she's our bassist.
She wouldn't want to be front man for the band. She'd want to stick to the bass, I think.
Damn.
Oh, that's the problem. We would need a front man.
Crickets. Okay, well,
Speaking of hungering for the drums,
we're gonna talk about last meals.
Drumsticks.
so this is where I wanted to start with this to get me in the right mindset.
Death.
Last meals. What's the scenario here? Have we lived long, happy lives? We're 95 years old on our deathbed, ready to naturally die? Or like, are we criminals of this, new like authoritative regime that's come in, but they're granting us a final meal? What kind of a last meal is this?
You're taking it way more seriously than I was.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I know I'm gonna die tomorrow. What am I gonna eat today?
So
as
is
my
it the
last
end of the
meal?
world?
Sure.
Apocalypse.
But you can eat anything you want from anywhere in the world.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking, I don't know, the word last meal. I just think of like you're on the chopping block. You're meeting your maker tomorrow.
Yeah. But Jacob wants...
But mine doesn't change regardless. So.
The guy who doesn't want to role play a character wants to understand his motivation.
Why do I care about this meal? Okay, that's fair. That's fine. I'm good.
Start with the youngest.
Okay. I didn't even spend that long thinking about it, to be honest, because I knew I just had to be true to myself.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, I'm thinking like German pancakes.
Mm.
Those are delicious.
Amazing.
Yeah. Where did mom even get that recipe?
Probably grandma.
I guess. Or a Betty Crocker book.
I don't
I
recall
don't know.
having it anywhere other than our home.
You mean like friends' houses?
Or,
Yeah.
no, I mean like grandma's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't...
Anything like that.
I can't remember that either. I didn't know anyone else knew about them, really. Like, I'm sure people knew about them because they were German pancakes. Someone's got to know about it if it's not an American thing.
They're not German. They're American.
They're American German pancakes.
Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, I doubt French toast is French either.
Well, it is.
It is? Oh.
Yeah.
And Belgian
All right.
waffles are Belgian.
Right? They
Yeah,
are.
but no,
French
I have
fries.
looked it up. German
Well,
pancakes
those
are
are
not
Belgian.
of German origin. It might have been German immigrants. I don't know. I can't remember, but
Well, the only other indication I had ever had that they existed outside of our home was at Original Pancake House. They have Dutch babies.
yeah.
And I saw one come out. I was like, holy crap. It's about time. These things are amazing.
Okay, so yeah, I went to a place, Elmer's, one time. It was another just diner, regular old diner.
Oh.
I think it's a chain. We were in Portland, and yeah, they had
Portland. That should be where you'd find something called a German pancake.
they had
Lots of Germans in Portland. As far as
The
settlers.
Rhinelander.
mhm.
Right.
I think they served it in the pan, and they were round.
Mm.
They
Sounds
just
like a Dutch
curled
baby.
up so nicely.
Oh,
It was individual size. Oh, it was just so good. So I need German pancake with a side of lemon juice and powdered sugar. And if this is my last meal, I'm going to use as much of both as I want. There's no holding back on the powdered sugar this time.
You want to be coughing get in your lungs while you're eating.
No, that's a technique thing. You can't breathe in while you're putting the fork up to your mouth. Okay. I've learned this
so
a long time ago.
Do you lemon juice and then powdered sugar, or do you powdered sugar and then lemon juice?
Lemon juice and powdered sugar.
Oh, you're crazy.
No,
you're wrong.
No.
What?
Yeah, you're wrong.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
It makes a huge difference in the flavor. A huge difference. Weirdly.
I want the lemon juice to soak into the pancake
but
first.
It doesn't. Not in my experience, anyway.
The butter's a shield. Wait. Okay. So Jacob, butter. Do you butter?
No, you don't butter. They have so much butter in them. You don't put more on
there. They come
out
pre-buttered.
Do not tell me you butter your German pancakes.
Do.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen them made?
I've made them. And I like them. Come on. Okay. Well.
Wow.
I like salt.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. For the salt, I can agree with more salt.
Yeah.
So if you do butter to get more salt,
it's a package deal.
Just
Okay.
put more salt into the batter.
Yeah. All right. Well, forget I asked.
Well, to answer the question, regardless, I just squirt lemon juice all over that thing, and I put the powdered sugar on top.
Like a good old Dutch baby.
But yeah, absolutely, as you're bringing that fork up, you do not breathe in. No air is coming in or out of your mouth. Just straight in.
I think did Liz do syrup rather than...
Oh, gosh,
I don't
know.
I don't remember that.
I can't remember.
Heather does syrup.
Oh, no.
I know.
I mean, it's fine.
It's
obviously.
not her fault. You know, she first had it at friends' houses and... Oh, wait, no. Or am I thinking the wrong thing? They did powdered sugar, but I think she asked for syrup, and they all looked at her like, what is wrong with you? And then to make matters worse, she didn't drink the milk either. And they're like, you have to drink this milk. I don't like milk. You cannot leave this table before you drink this milk. Like, you're not my parents.
So one of those families.
Yeah, weird, right?
Yeah, syrup's fine. And like at Original Pancake House, they serve their Dutch babies with like apple, like cinnamon apple topping.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
I've never had it, so maybe it would be good, but I can't see anything other than powdered sugar first and then lemon juice being any good on that. Like,
you're
nothing's going to
the
compare.
flavor profile completely.
Nothing will compare to that.
You at least need a different name for that. That's not going to be a German pancake. That's going to be like a German.
Well, they call it a Dutch baby, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Dutch baby.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That can be the Dutch baby. This will be the German pancake.
Probably don't have a lot of lemons in Germany, right?
They got the Mediterranean clothes. They can get
fair.
them.
That's fair. Is that it?
Yeah.
One course meal for your final meal?
Well, it's probably a lot, though.
Sure.
Yeah. Remember those big 9x13s?
Yeah.
I could easily eat 2 of those.
Yeah. Easy.
So,
the last time I made a German pancake.
Oh, a glass of milk. Okay, a glass of milk. You're right. I need milk with it.
Totally. But what percent milk?
2%.
Okay, good. That's right. That's the right answer.
Lactose free.
The last time I made a German pancake, I decided to do it in our enameled cast iron oven. Why did I pause for so long there?
I don't know, but I'm trying to connect enameled cast iron oven to...
Yeah, wasn't the paint?
Your like Dutch oven. Like a Dutch...
Okay.
Enameled Dutch oven.
Enameled?
What's the... La
Crusette.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
That's right.
Le Crusette.
Why?
Le Crusette.
What
Why
does
the enameling?
do?
You don't have to take care of the metal. It's completely shielded from oxidation because it's inside 2 layers.
So the whole
inside
thing
and outside
is coated?
Yeah.
Oh,
the outside is coated and the inside
doesn't get stuck to you very well.
Right.
Very hard.
Yeah.
But you can't season it.
Easy to clean. You don't have to.
You
season
need to. It's a beauty.
You don't season cast iron for this amazing cooking spice that comes off of it into your cooking.
You don't get the extra iron if you're a vegetarian.
It's also you don't get it either way.
Yeah, bummer.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to make a round one. So this was a round thing, and it curled up all awesome and everything. But then I made a mistake. I thought I was getting powdered sugar, But it was cornstarch.
Oh, no.
Dude. It was, I almost barfed. It was so bad. I knew right away because it turned into that non-ferrous fluid on top of the pancake because I had just the right amount of lemon juice on top. That
you
it
mean
just
non-Newtonian liquid?
Gack. Non-Newtonian fluid. Yeah.
Yeah, non-ferrous is
but I was like,
non-metallic.
I don't care.
Non-magnetic.
Just in case I'm wrong. Did I say ferrous?
Yeah.
Dang it. I knew I was going to do that. Non-Newtonian fluid. Yeah, I'm there now. Okay. But I ate it anyway, a couple bites. I was like, I can't.
You couldn't scrape it off and get powdered sugar?
Maybe. Like if I had just put more cornstarch on, it would have gotten to that point where it was more of a solid and I probably could have scraped it off. Wow, I'm an idiot.
I don't know. That would have taken some guts to put more on in hopes that it would solidify.
Yeah. Anyway.
Brutal.
So that's Jacob's.
Okay. Mine is going to be a groaner. You guys aren't going to like this.
You're going to be something vegetarian.
You're going to think it's not keeping in the spirit of what we're doing. But this is my honest to goodness answer.
Okay.
So you guys know, vegetarian. So
some say tofu.
No.
Tofu's fine.
No, tofu has to be cooked correctly. For
sure.
Like it.
Sure.
Which, by the way, is mapo tofu.
Mapo tofu
delicious.
Is good. Yeah.
Spicy. It's a Sichuan dish.
Hard to get
good.
Vegetarian, though.
No, you just say don't put the pork in it or the beef.
But no substitutions. They always say that. Okay, go on.
That made me think of another joke, but I'm not going to keep going.
Good choice.
So one, vegetarian. So that limits, what I can choose.
Mm-hmm.
But two, you guys know that I'm trying to, well, maybe you do or don't know to an extent. I'm trying to out of all the philosophies out there, like ideology philosophies, not religious philosophies.
Okay.
I think the most impactful one, useful one, most utilitarian, most beneficial to your existence and your life and your day to day is Stoicism. Yes. Jacob got it. So Stoicism is all about using your rational thought to control your desires and your wishes.
There's also a crap load of misinformation
on
about Stoicism on the internet.
Yes. Yeah. So
it's not just not feeling your feelings.
Being a stoic individual.
It's rationally, it's having control over your rational thought to process your feelings and to turn them into what is useful and what is not useful and to do what's natural. So the baseline metaphysics of Stoicism is just keeping with nature, keeping with what nature intended. And you do that by leveraging your rational thought. Anyway, blah, blah, blah.
What does that have to do about food?
Mm-hmm. So, great question. If you'll turn with me to Musonius Rufus, letter 1. No. So the Stoics, from the very beginning, they taught that basically kind of like the 7 sins, like gluttony is a sin. But the Stoics have their foundation in cynicism, which is pretty austere, really minimal, far more minimalistic than Stoicism. When you think of pop Stoicism, you're probably thinking more, what they're displaying is more of a cynicism type mentality.
So when we think of pop Stoicism,
I think of nothing personally.
We're probably seeing cynicism more than anything else.
Yes, okay. More of a cynicism, more austere.
Okay.
But a lot of the foundations, the founder of Stoicism was instructed by a cynic. But anyway, so as it comes to food, these guys would not seek out lavish foods because it just didn't keep with what they were trying to do, what they were trying to be all about. There's the flavor of a food has no rational bearing on
the nutrients.
Your experience, the nutrients.
Oh my gosh.
So
kill me now.
So I knew this would be an eye roller. But so Crates, who is the teacher of Zeno, he's the cynic guy.
Uh-huh.
It was said of Crates, he was contented with a rough cloak, of barley bread, and vegetables, without ever yearning for his former way of life or being unhappy with his present one.
Oh.
So that kind of shows you like you probably would be unhappy in yearn, but he never did. So that's on its face. That's kind of funny.
Side note, I'm starting to feel like John the Baptist with a Stoic.
Kind of, yeah. Interesting. Or maybe a cynic, more of a cynic.
All right.
Rough-hewn. Didn't he wear
camels?
Yeah.
Yeah, camel's hair. You're right.
And he ate locusts and honey or something. Anyway.
So, and even the great Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal,
I hate food. Food sucks.
he says, then we went to lunch. Because he writes like these daily thoughts, right? So he goes, so then we went to lunch. What do you think I ate? A wee bit of bread, though I did see others devouring beans, onions, and herrings full of roe.
Are you kidding?
So, but here's
such lavish.
I love bread.
Bread is good.
So knowing now that these Stoics, like the ultimate Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, the founder of Stoicism, Zeno, ate bread.
Bread was the go-to.
My last meal, because I love it's just like a gourmet global array of breads.
All the breads.
Give me all of the best artesian breads from every country, and maybe the toppings that typically go with them.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
The schmears and things, and just let me taste the world of bread before I go. Then I'll feel prepared.
So there will be scones on that table?
Yeah.
After all of the eye rolling.
Eat it all first. Before you can kill me. Gotta eat.
After all of the eye rolling, I am totally on board with just a bread smorgasbord.
Yeah.
I love bread.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm a bread fiend. I've stopped because of all the calories. Or the empty carbs, you know.
All right, this isn't my scenario, but I'm just going to ask it anyway. Is fondue on the table?
No, because I'm lactose intolerant.
Well, you're dying the next day. This is your last meal.
True, and it would be a pretty rude awakening when however they finish me off, and I've got this upset tummy.
Eat it, mothers!
Yeah, you fools! You gave me all of the cheese. That makes me think of "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" with Babyface Nelson, and he's strapped in TNT, and they're gonna electrocute him. I'm gonna go off like a Roman candle. That would be, I guess. There it is. Dairy and bread, so I can go off like a Roman candle.
There are a few things better, in my opinion, than bread and cheese.
Yeah,
I'm a jam man.
Jam's good too, man. Yeah. But get that cheese with the jam.
Well, brie and pears.
Yeah.
Brie and figs.
Fit.
Gorgonzola and pears.
Yes, gorgonzola and pears. Mm-hmm.
It's like a blue cheese kind of.
Not kind of.
Oh,
it's a blue cheese, all right.
It's a blue cheese
made with penicillium mold, so it'll help you with your infections too.
Nice.
Oh,
what?
Man, this last meal is getting better and better.
Yeah. Maybe I won't die after all.
It's going to create a layer. It's going to create a boundary layer of protection. Nice.
Well, you guys, I mean,
underwhelmed you?
We came swinging.
No, I was going to say, I feel like a glutton now a little bit. Like I don't even. I mean, I really love good food. I am the opposite of a cynicist, apparently.
Yeah, let's just put it out there. You are a foodie, whether or not you have said it yourself.
I'm not a foodie. I don't like the term. It brings up imagery in my mind of hipsters taking pictures of everything they're eating, and I don't feel that way.
No, that's not a foodie.
The context of this is our mother misquoted me for Alex when I called him a foodie in the previous episode. And Alex, you can see the backlash.
Well, we've just started rewatching Suits.
Great show.
It is. Rachel considers herself a foodie.
That's fine.
It's not. It's good company. That's all I'm saying.
I guess. I just.
Boils.
I love food, but I really.
Brooklyn 99.
Yeah, see, I'm not like Boyle. Thank you very much. And it's
sure
not
is.
plural. It's Boyle.
I know, dang it. Sorry. Boyles. Somehow Boyles fits his personality better, though.
It really does.
I really don't think I'm a foodie. But if you consider any person that would go on a trip specifically for the food,
Oh my
a
gosh.
foodie, then I'm a foodie.
I think
Yeah.
that's probably the definition of a foodie.
I like going to Disney World for the food experience. The rides are fine. A lot of the rides are fun, but a lot of the rides make me pretty sick these days.
It's because of all that food you're eating.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not eating a lot of food,
I know.
but I don't know why. There's something about going someplace for the really good food and some entertainment that I just love.
Yeah.
So for my last meal, I had a completely different answer until I remembered how much I love going to Disney World for food.
You want to go out at Disney World?
I would go to Disney World and eat all my favorite food at Disney World that I've found so far. And then some more. Because that's one of the best parts about Disney World. There's so much good food.
I don't get it.
There's a lot of pretty mediocre food too. But there's a lot of really good food, especially at Epcot. Because like almost every country in the World Showcase. For those that don't know what Epcot is, Epcot has two parts. It has a lagoon in the very center of the park, and you walk around this lake to get to the two different sides. One side is the World Showcase, where they have
Like a World's Fair sort of thing?
kind of, how would I say this? They break it up all the way around this semicircle, around this, not giant, but this large lake, broken up into different countries, where they have architecture from the country, food from the country, all of the cast members, which are what you call employees of Disney World, all of the cast members are from that country.
Oh, that's
They
crazy.
weren't
I
during
didn't
the
know that.
pandemic, but they are now. They got back to it, I think. Drink, art, just whatever they have.
Is it like
from that
stylized
country.
or is it normal? 'Cause
No, it really
Berlin
looks like
a lot like New York.
you legitimately look like you're in Paris,
Okay.
in the France Pavilion.
Yeah.
And they have like a miniature Eiffel Tower that you can't really get to. That way it stays distant
It
and
kinda-
looks bigger than it is.
That's really cool.
The Germany Pavilion is more like old Bavarian type German. Like if you
Which
were to
is the
go
best.
skiing somewhere in
Best
Germany.
part. Edelweiss.
And then they usually put all of their, if they have any Disney properties that take place in those countries, like Ratatouille. They just finished the Ratatouille ride not too long ago for the France Pavilion. They've got, what do they have? Do they have anything in the Germany Pavilion? Believe it or not, they don't have, as far as I'm aware, Pinocchio in the Italy Pavilion.
That's good.
But they've
Such
got
a
some pretty
disturbing
good pizza
story.
in the Italy Pavilion. I can get my favorite Italian chocolates in the Italy Pavilion. I can talk to Italians in Italian in the Italy Pavilion.
How's the gelato, though?
Not emphasized anywhere near enough. The France Pavilion gets way too much attention on the food.
It's France.
And I hate it. I hate it so much. I think Italy has equally good food and they need to do something about it. But Italian food in America is kind of loaded. Americans don't really know what Italian food is, but they kind of think they do. And there's nothing that you want to do to an American at your theme park less than tell them they're wrong.
I don't know. Have you seen Disney World during the pandemic? They're. I mean, it's shots fired across all bows.
Fair enough.
The political.
Oh,
yeah.
right. The governor.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
They do have gelato, but everybody goes to the France Pavilion for French glacé, which is French ice cream. I don't really know what makes it distinct, if anything. But anyway, Restaurant Marrakech in the Morocco Pavilion. I would absolutely, without a doubt, no question, eat there first. Maybe last. No, first. Before I'm stuffed silly and nothing tastes good anymore. That food is unbelievable. The leader of Morocco, I can't remember if it's a king, president, sultan. I don't remember the correct term. But whoever was in charge of the country at that time when they were building this sent Moroccan artisans with a ton of Moroccan tiles to do the tile mosaics just right. Everything in the Morocco Pavilion is super freaking legit, especially in the restaurant. And all the servers are Moroccan. Last time I got to eat there was a Moroccan belly dancer. But that food, oh my gosh. They use spices so well. They know how to balance everything and balance sweetness with the savory. I had this like crispy puff pastry type thing full of some combination of spices, meats, dried fruits.
Yeah.
And the outside of it was dusted with powdered sugar and cinnamon.
What?
It sounded and looked insane. Why would that taste good? But it was incredible.
It's like a Monte Cristo.
I suppose.
Those sandwiches are so good and it just defies logic.
It was super crispy and delicate on the outside and super meaty, but also sweet. I would eat that. I would get a slice of Italian-style pizza at the Italy Pavilion. I would get some crazy expensive sushi at the Japan Pavilion. I'd probably get a steak at Le Cellier in the Canada Pavilion.
Steak?
Canada Pavilion. Steak?
Oh, they are, yeah.
They have a French steakhouse called Le Cellier. And they've got all kinds of wines. Obviously, it's based on a wine cellar. Le Cellier.
So it's French-speaking Canada.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So French-inspired Canadian.
Right. Okay. Yeah. They had a number of different styles of poutine. I'd probably get one. And then I'd probably get some caramel corn. No, not caramel corn, but some kind of sweet treat at Caramel Kuche in the Germany Pavilion. They use Werther's Originals to make caramel desserts in that place. Werther's were apparently created originally in Germany.
Oh, wow.
Super simple recipe of sugar, butter, and cream.
Wow.
That was it.
I got to make some.
I'm sure you can find it online.
Yeah, give me the original.
Original Werther's recipe.
But eating at Restaurant Marrakesh for my final meal, without a doubt, would make me happy.
It's the highlight.
It's amazing.
It would make you happy, but everyone else would just be so sad.
I was also going to say I would want the molcajete de mariscos at La Hacienda Real in Kaiser. That was super good.
That was a great restaurant.
And then as far as getting some Italian food in Italy, I can't even pick. There's just so much good food.
Well,
the end.
I've been inspired. Next to my German pancake, I'll have a side of real Uzbek plov as well. And then I'll be done and happy.
Nice. Don't know what plov is.
Yeah, me neither.
It's got to be a bun or a roll.
No, it's a rice dish.
Oh, dang.
Rice dish.
Yeah.
Oh.
Meat, carrots, and again, the seasonings, man.
Yeah.
Can I finish this with one note on how not to have a last meal?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So I found this while I was considering what I was going to do. In 1772, Germany, a woman named Susanna Margarita Brandt was decapitated by sword. And her last meal. So she had been offered a feast consisting of 3 pounds of bratwurst, 10 pounds of beef, 6 pounds of baked carp, 12 pounds of lamb roast, soup, cabbage, bread, an unspecified dessert, and 8 liters of wine. She rejected it, and her last meal was a glass of water. So instead, the officials who sentenced her to death and executed her got to eat her feast.
What the freak? But were they trying to kill her by splitting her stomach open with all that food?
I would suggest they probably wanted official way to like finance their own feast. And so maybe they set her up.
Maybe.
Set her up the bomb.
Dude, did you turn on the radio? No? What are those lights flickering?
Parrot.
Normal.
Hour.
Newport, Oregon is on the coast. It's like, I don't know, I'd say it's like it's a nice beachy beach town as far as like Oregon goes. Like,
Yeah.
Cabana Boys?
no, Oregon doesn't have that kind of stuff.
Oh.
No, it's got some nice streets. It's got, like nice walkable streets with cute little shops and the wood shake sidings.
Pretty well developed
on the
as far
buildings.
as
Yeah.
Oregon coastal towns go.
Yeah, it's not, by Oregon standards, a small coastal town. It's got a historic, pretty bridge, a river that runs through it.
Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum.
Wax Museum.
Oh, the
Oh, yeah.
aquarium also.
Yeah, aquarium. OMSI? Isn't that where OMSI is?
No, OMSI's in Portland.
Dang it.
Right
I
on the
always
river.
do that
It's
wrong.
like right on the river.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I think
It's got the submarine.
Yeah, my bad.
So yeah, Newport's a cool place. It has a lighthouse called the Yaquina Bay Lighthouse.
It sounds Hawaiian.
It's native.
Oh.
Native American. Yaquina,
Oh, Yaquina.
named after the river that runs through Newport, or just to the south of Newport. So Yaquina Bay Lighthouse, it sits right at the north corner of where the Yaquina River exits into the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
It's basically a house with a light on top of it. Have you seen? Do you not recall?
I'll
This
look
one?
it
It's
up.
like, yeah,
I
look
think
it
I
up.
do. I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
Yaquina Bay Lighthouse specifically. I'll get to why. To this day, it is the oldest standing building in Newport. It's also the last surviving wooden lighthouse in Oregon. So it's got some pretty cool and long history to it. It was constructed and it was first lit in November of 1871. But not long after, in August of 1873, the
Yeah.
Yaquina Head light was constructed and lit.
Okay.
Which is a different lighthouse.
Completely
That's
like
your
it's a
typical
lighthouse.
Yeah, you got the spire.
Yeah. Yaquina Head is 93 feet tall. It's the tallest lighthouse in Oregon. It has a first order Fresnel lens.
Hmm.
And it reaches out, I think it was 16 miles. It's visible for 16 miles. Which made Yaquina Bay with its fifth order Fresnel lens completely obsolete. Fresnel lens orders were first order is the most the brightest, I suppose.
Which
to the
they kind of
least
shot
bright.
themselves in the foot for sure. Because technology, there's got to be like Fresnel order 0.1 now.
There's
Do they reorder?
There is one new order above first order, and it's got a name to it. I can't
It's probably the
recall what it
new
was. No. It's not numerical.
Oh,
It's something else. But I have a story that takes place in the Yaquina Bay Lighthouse.
okay.
It's the key figure here.
So I just looked at pictures to make sure I remembered what this thing was. So this is a 2-floor building.
Yes, thank you.
It has those typical shaker windows
Yeah, bright burnt orange
Yeah.
currently.
all around it. It has one of those nice sweeping coverings over the front door.
Porch,
To get into the house.
yeah.
Got a little porch. And then, a chimney on top and the cool kind of lighthouse stand.
Yeah,
So
so like
top of it.
it really does. It just looks like your typical, because everyone knows what your typical 19th century home looks like.
It's a handsome little
Yeah.
building.
It's nice. 2 chimneys, and then the light stands right in the center of the building between those 2 chimneys.
Although I'll be honest, looking at the front of this kind of also gives me the creeps.
Yeah,
Like I see Exorcist kind of in it a little bit.
see something in one of those windows.
Especially you're on like the Oregon coast. It gets windy and cold and damp and misty. And
Right. Yeah, and so specifically where it sits, it's on top of a bluff. I mentioned it's at that north corner where the river runs out to the Pacific. It's on a little bluff, and it is windy. Heather and I have been here, and it's got all these juniper trees surrounding it, and they're the kinds that are permanently leaning, pointed in one specific direction, so you can just tell how much wind,
the wind
whips through there.
Forms them in that direction because it's windy.
Yeah. Yeah, so Yaquina Head was lit in August 1873. So Yaquina Bay Light was then decommissioned officially in 1874. It had only served for 3 years.
Oof.
So our story, it's weird, right?
Is that like
3
a paid
years?
job? Like, is this something like you strike out, you're like a businessman, you spin up this lighthouse to operate it, and you're expecting like...
I have no clue. I don't think so. If I recall correctly, the U.S. government set aside $20,000 for the construction of the Yaquina Head
lighthouse. Okay.
So I think most lighthouse infrastructure is paid for
federally
by
or
the government.
the states or something.
I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
It would make sense to me.
Yeah, me too.
So our story took place shortly after, and I don't have an exact year, but it took place shortly after it was decommissioned.
Decommissioned as a lighthouse.
As a lighthouse, yeah. So the structure is still standing, no longer operating as a lighthouse. A ship pulls into port in town unexpectedly. They weren't like expecting any trade ships or anything like that, or fishermen.
Mm-hmm.
And a man exits with his teenage daughter. They hop on a little rowboat. They get lowered down, and they're rowed ashore. This guy's dressed very nicely. He's tailored nicely, and he speaks, and he has this air about him of almost like an aristocratic type of air,
sure.
right? The ship was due for Coos Bay, which is south of Newport. So they'd been traveling from the north, and they had ran into hard waters, and so that's why they came ashore. They had some things to take care of after those waters. But this man, he was like, my daughter is not fit as a sailor. Like, just being out on those rough waters was just too hard for her. She can't take that for longer.
Okay.
Is there anyone in town who could keep watch of her?
Good grief.
While I sail back down to Coos Bay and then return. I just need someone to take care of her. The landlady of the local inn volunteered. They had a vacant room, so they took her and they put her up for her dad to finish the traveling. We don't even know what he was doing, what kind of business he was on. So the girl's name was Muriel Trevenard. It's just a great name. It stands out. Muriel Trevenard.
What can you spell Trevenard?
Trevenard. Trevenard.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Her name.
The girl's
is
name.
What? I mean, do we know
origin?
Maybe you're getting into this, but what's the etymology of that? Like, where?
No clue.
No idea.
No.
Right? I don't.
I would guess.
I know Andy Bernard goes by Nard Dog.
Nard Dog.
Trevenard.
Oh, she's from Massachusetts.
Again, you could tell by her belongings that her family is used to luxury and then the finer things in life.
What are they doing in Oregon?
I don't know. I don't even know where they came from.
What year is this again?
Late 1800s.
1874.
What are they
1875.
doing in Oregon at that point in time?
Way over on the coast.
The West Coast.
Yeah.
Coming from the north.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Canada on the West Coast is that developed at this point in time either.
Or
I
Washington.
don't think so.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bizarre.
But I mean, Newport did already have not just one, but 2 lighthouses. Right. So there is some precedence of travel in this region.
Right. So we know, like, there's a lot of... So Portland was a major Chinese shipping destination.
Yes.
So you get a lot... So, like, being Shanghaied in Portland was really common.
I might be getting there in the future.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Historically, there's a ton of sea travel that occurs through Oregon,
right,
and the Columbia River, but I think most of it's like Asian countries, Asian goods, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the fur trade was pretty big, and it was mostly Europe that wanted our furs.
No Panama
I don't know
Canal
how
yet.
that got back.
You had to sail all the way down around the Horn of South Africa or South America,
or try to get around the Northwest Passage.
But there wasn't one. Right?
Yeah.
So
they never did find that, did they?
No, I don't think so.
So she spent most of her days reading, sketching, writing her journal. She didn't really, get along with the crowd of town. She was too sophisticated, I suppose. I don't know. But eventually, the account actually says specifically in August. So I know by this point, some time has passed and her dad has not returned.
From Coos Bay, of all places.
Yeah, which, I mean,
not a long
it's not
trip.
that far away.
No.
But for some reason, neither her nor the innkeeper are all that concerned about it. Like, it's coastal waters. He might have had more business. He'll return when he returns. So in August, this young group of pleasure seekers came from the east, and they came to Newport, and they popped up tents and stuff.
Portlanders.
They were always hippies. Popped up their tents down on the beach in a little grassy knoll. They were just there to have a good, fun time at the coast.
Yeah, everyone does that.
Yeah, it checks out, right? It still happens today. It didn't take too long before Muriel befriended these other young... I don't know if they were teens, early 20s, but they were probably around her age.
Okay.
It appears.
Mm-hmm.
And they became friends, pretty good friends. And not long after that, someone finally suggested, hey, we should go check out the Yaquina Bay Lighthouse. It's shut down. No one ever goes in. It'd probably be fun to just go and explore.
I'm concerned for Muriel.
Well, lucky for them, the innkeeper, whom Muriel's obviously good friends with now, was the guy who had been asked to kind of keep eye on it. So he had the key to get into it.
Okay.
So they get the key from the innkeeper. And yeah, they go. But I mean, they're not dumb kids. They don't go at like after sundown. They go in the daytime. Sun's still up. There's light out.
So no one was even living in this?
No.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
It's a nice little house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange.
Not even that little.
2-story. Yeah, it's 2 stories. It's a beautiful structure.
That bluff, though, maybe it's pretty far. Maybe it's a challenge to get to town.
Yeah, I don't...
Maybe.
Yeah, I suppose... I don't know what town was like at that point. Yeah, so they go in. Explore around the first floor. It just looks like an old, not quite dilapidated, but uncared for house.
Sure.
Go up to the second floor again. Nothing like extraordinary or spectacular, but they're having a fun time looking around. But then they continue following the staircase all the way to the very top, where it comes to a landing. And in this landing is a window to the outside, obviously, and a linen closet. So they open the linen closet, and there's a piece of wainscoting that's kind of peeled back a little bit. So one of the kids just grabs it and yanks it off. And behind it is a steel plate door, a thin sheet of steel.
What the freak?
In this linen closet. Someone...
Behind some wainscoting.
Weird, right? So someone puts their hand on it, and they can... Rubbing it, they can just tell it's hollow. There's an opening behind it. So they get their fingers on that, and they're able to pry that open. It's about a 3x3 foot piece of steel.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like maintenance hatch, like maybe to get to the lenses or work on the light above you.
This 3x3 opening goes back about 6 feet.
Okay.
And then it just drops.
What do you mean?
And they can't see where it drops to.
Okay, wait. So they
don't have flashlights.
They're at the top of the building.
How do they have flashlights?
They don't have.
They don't.
Sorry,
I said don't.
So, okay, sorry.
No flashlights, no torches.
So they're like within the roof, basically. So I'm assuming the spiral staircase is like in the center of the building.
Probably.
You might have said that. And then they're at the top landing, so like maybe just below
the
how you'd get to the lens. And they're looking laterally through the roof now, most likely.
Attic
space. And that's why they can't see anything.
Well,
no, down. They look down.
Yes, it's basically a shaft that drops straight down.
They couldn't see the bottom.
And so they got some stuff and they dropped it down there and they didn't hear an impact. So like, well...
Wait, I'm so confused.
I know.
Okay, keep going.
There might be a basement to this thing? That would be weird, though.
Yeah. So yeah, there's this air of like excitement and fun, but at the same time, they're kind of cautious and a little weirded out.
Victorians were very into ghosts. This is the Victorian era. Not that matters much in America, Victorian,
but again, they're not stupid kids. They're smart. The sun starts to set, and so they realize, okay, this is weird. We can't see anyway. It's about to get dark. It's time to go. So they do. They leave. The kid is starting to lock up. So most of the group is on the other side of the house, ready to go back down to the beach. And there's the one kid with the key and Muriel. And this kid's about to lock up. And then Muriel's like, oh, I forgot my handkerchief. I've just got to run back inside real quick and grab my handkerchief.
Oh, boy. Don't do it, Muriel. You're not safe.
And so the kid's all like, well, just let me come with you. She's like, no, I'm fine. Like, don't be stupid. I'll be right back. So she runs in. It's like, okay, whatever. I'll just wait out here. Oh, and she had said something like, oh, I'll probably just go out the back door through the kitchen because that's where everybody else is waiting anyway. So he's like, okay. He waits a few minutes. She doesn't come out. So he shuts it, locks it, goes around the house. Everyone's like, well, where's Muriel? Like, oh, she's just running inside to get her handkerchief. She didn't come out yet. She was coming out this way. Like, no, we haven't seen her. And then all of a sudden a shriek rings out. And they're all just frozen with shock and fear. Second shriek. Followed by 3 yelps for help. So after that short pause of them like not knowing what to do, they all rush inside. He grabs the key, unlocks it as fast as he can. They look around the first floor, nothing. Second floor, all they find is a puddle of blood. But it's got a trail of blood drops in the second floor, in the hallway. The drops of blood lead all the way up the hall, back up to that landing where the linen closet was. In the linen closet, they find her blood-stained handkerchief. But that steel sheet is back in place, and so is the wainscoting.
What?
So they're able to rip that wainscoting off, but they can't get the steel sheet ripped back off. They can't get it open again. And that's where it ends. They run back down to town. They get men. They get people to come do a further search of the building, immediate surroundings. Muriel's never seen again.
What if I said about
I know you're not supposed to judge history.
Well, hold on. Before, this is where I give you the twist.
Got a M. Night Shyamalan over here.
Oh no, that never ends well. He's horrible.
This was an article published in 1899 of the Pacific Monthly magazine, written by Lischen Miller as a piece of fiction.
I was dreaming the whole time.
Okay, but so here's where it comes into real life.
Like I said, Victorians love ghost stories.
This is where it comes into real life.
Victorians.
Shortly after closing, the Yaquina Bay Lighthouse went up for sale. No one made offers high enough for it to be sold because everyone was worried that it was haunted.
Okay.
So apparently this was a well-read magazine.
Wait,
people read this and thought it was nonfiction.
Not fiction.
no, because you said this was published in 1899,
Mm-hmm.
but the lighthouse closed in
1874.
1874.
Okay, so I just have...
So it's like 25 years without it being sold?
Sorry. So yeah, you're right. It would have been after 1899. It went up for
Okay.
sale.
Okay. But no one would buy it.
No one would buy it. No offers were high enough.
Silly Victorians.
So then, a little after that, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers took it as living quarters while they were working in the area.
The Army would. We get the worst places.
We'll sleep in the haunted house.
Like, oh, there's murderous ghosts? Yeah, it sounds great for our soldiers.
Bring it on.
10 years after they vacated, the U.S. Coast Guard started using it for living quarters. Then after that, the Oregon State Highway Division bought the land that the lighthouse sat on to establish a new state park. which it still is to this day. It's a state park.
The Highway Foundation?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then finally in 1946, the Yaquina Bay Lighthouse was scheduled to be demolished. But a group of local citizens founded the Lincoln County Historical Society with the explicit purpose of saving the lighthouse. Many historians thank this specific piece of nonfiction to people caring so much about this lighthouse, that is what brought it enough notoriety that people valued it and cared to save it from demolition.
Doomed it at first, saved it in the end?
Yeah. So they spent 3 years of raising money, and they were able to stall the demolition until it was scheduled again in 1951. So the society got back to work, and they were able to get the help of a Mr. L.E. Warford, who had just moved to Newport from Ohio. He was a wealthy businessman.
Sounds like a Daddy Warbucks type.
And he was able to get the lighthouse recognized as a historical site, and it was preserved. Then through the 70s, it was restored, and we now have it. It's kind of part museum, part just historical
murder building.
So
fictitious murder building.
Allegedly.
This historian guy that I listened to said, this is probably the only building I'm aware of that a truly non-existent ghost saved from being demolished. And actually, obviously there are those out there who will say, well, all ghosts are non-existent, but this is a 100% fictional ghost.
Yeah.
It was written
no doubt
in a
about
piece
it.
of fiction. Although some people think it is still haunted, or they might think this article was based on fact. There was a 1975 article in the Eugene Register-Guard in which Lincoln County Historical Museum curator said a young hitchhiker came through town looking for work, and having nowhere to stay and no money to rent a room, he unrolled a sleeping bag at the lighthouse. That first night he was there, a ghostly young woman appeared to him, floating outside one of the windows.
No, dude, that's a vampire.
She told him not to worry and that he would soon find work. The next day, he did find work.
In Hades.
So there are people who actually think Muriel was real, who think that Lischen Miller published it as a piece of fiction, but in reality it was nonfiction. And the legend lives on today.
I'm just not buying the guy singing a ghost, because from what I know about her, she just didn't seem like the kind of person that would be like comforting him. I think she'd just kind of like be,
Yeah, she's hoity-toity.
Yeah, he's a bum.
Yeah.
He's sleeping, I don't know. Don't buy it. Doesn't fit her MO.
It's just a different ghost then.
Oh, dang
Could
it.
be.
Interesting. But
Yeah.
I just want to know, did someone look for a shaft to like verify?
I know.
Right?
Yeah, I
We
know.
gotta go. All right. Our first Another Brother sponsored expedition. Yeah.
Couldn't be a better place to go.
Oregon Ghost
Expedition.
The Ghost Coast.
Ooh, nice. 4-part series. 5. 7.
And a movie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dang it, that's what I was going to do.
Oh, shoot. You're going to do it better.
Thank you for being our brother. Wow, did
That
we
might
just
be too
nail that?
energetic, though.
Okay. we'll take another run at it then.
Okay. For being our brother.
The first one was too energetic.
Gotcha.
For show notes, rockin' merch, and other brother goodness, check out our website at anotherbrotherpodcast.com.
Be sure to come back next week.
And tell your friends so they too can become a
Brother over here, brother over there.